Hey guys, here we are for the finale episode. I am Africa Miranda, your host of the Africa Miranda Show, and it's time to almost say goodbye. But before we do, we have one last fantastic conversation. I'm so excited to bring to the sofa the one and only Asian bae from Insecure, Alexander Hodge. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Do you ever get tired of it being getting that introduction?
I mean, I think that was the first time I was introduced as Asian bae before my name.
Before your name?
So, yeah, I mean, that's I guess probably people know me more as the hashtag than
The
my
hashtag.
actual name.
I know, it honestly kind of came out of nowhere because, I mean, Insecure, of course, is such this cultural phenomenon. And I think every new character that Issa has, introduced has had its own moment. But yours was really, I feel like, something different.
Yeah, he's Asian.
Well, I mean, not just because he was Asian, but I didn't expect it to have as much impact as it did. But I think as each episode kept rolling, people especially on Twitter and we're live tweeting the shows, just really got so invested.
Well, I think people were just like, oh, he's back. Oh, he's all right, Asian bae, he's still here.
Exactly,
Good for you. You know, I think it was interesting. I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then seeing the momentum build, as you said, was kind of well, he also got more screen time as it went on. His story developed a bit more. But he was also, kind of the first guy to really put his foot down and,
And get Molly together.
Yeah, I'm not really...
I know.
I don't need that. Yeah.
Did you think that it was going to... I mean, I feel like as an actor, you know that there are going to be certain roles. If you get this, this could be something that really is a tipping point. Did you think that this was going to be that for you, or it's just going to be another great opportunity?
You know what? I think I've actually had to really look at this lately. I've had to really kind of gain a new level of introspection within my identity.
Okay.
Sort of being an Asian man.
Yes, I wanted to get into all of that.
I didn't expect to have such a response.
Yeah.
I know this show is a phenomenon.
Definitely.
It's an incredible show, and I think it's it will become one of the most important shows.
I agree.
Of this TV renaissance that we're having. But I think I think I played it down because I didn't expect to have a grand response.
But one thing I did when you touched on, especially being an Asian man and having this visceral response, especially with women and specifically Black women, there is definitely this study that's out that Black women and Asian men are considered the least desirable by Western standards on online dating. But I think it was great, one, to see the two then brought together as a couple. But it's just, did you think, was that something that you thought about going into this role?
Not really. I think just because that was, my girlfriend is Black. So I just thought...
This is what we do.
Yeah, I was just this is going to be fun. I went in for the role, ready to have fun. It wasn't something new to me, personally.
Yeah.
But learning about the study, learning about, in the months after shooting and then everything coming out, I've learned that there is a history that sort of, I guess, defers Black women and Asian men in their respective genders as the least desirable. That doesn't mean that, the same race, opposite gender is more appealing in a genuine way, fetishization.
Totally,
and so
which
on.
happens on both sides.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that study is relative. It's, within America.
Exactly.
And America has a long-standing history of tense racial relations.
Exactly, and representation issues and, how these stories are framed, which is honestly for me, which I found so refreshing about the two of you. It wasn't that it was this thing that was hanging over your head. It was just a group of friends. These are the two that connected in this way. And just so happens that, he's he's an Asian guy, Molly's Black girl. It wasn't this heavy story.
Yeah, there was no stereotype, there was no archetype, there was no responsibility to play anything other than who I am as a person.
Exactly.
As Andrew, who Yvonne is as a person,
right,
as Molly.
As Molly, yes.
It just challenged cultural perspective. It wasn't a big, huge social commentary. It was just all right, culturally, like, you know.
Like, oh, this is nice.
Sometimes it's just not that deep.
It's not that deep.
You know.
But on the Africa Miranda show, it is all about getting the scoop from our guests. And you are definitely someone that, you know, when you came on the scene, of course we saw you on the show, the hashtag took off. But I want my audience to really get to know Alexander, not Asian Bay. So I know that you are from Australia, but you are now here living in New York. What was like? How does one get from Australia to New York? What brought you here?
A plane.
Besides a plane. Besides a long plane ride.
I came over here for my best friend's wedding years ago, and this is such a long story.
Well, you can give us the abridged version.
All right, okay. Was playing rugby in Australia.
Gotcha.
Had a knee injury.
I did do my research, and I heard you had the injury. So yes, we do our due diligence here. Yes.
That's scary. You know the story then. What happened next?
Well, and then he decided that. No, I'm just kidding.
No. So there was this knee right here.
Okay.
And I know it's cold outside because it hurts.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
this is my thermometer. Have you seen Mean Girls?
Yes.
ESPN. So I was in a wheelchair, watched hundreds of movies, and was like, I did acting in high school.
You're like, I could do this.
I want to do this again.
Yeah.
And so that was a seed in my head. Fast forward, I'm here in New York, friend's wedding, and I walk past a school. I'm like, acting school.
I had said there was a time that I wanted to do this.
I did, and I walked up, and I just poked my head in all the rooms. Everybody stared at me, and were like, "Who are you?"
Right? Why are you interrupting our work?
And little old me is just like, "Oh, that's cute. Oh, they're acting. That's nice." Auditioned for the place. 10 days later, got accepted, and I thought, "Great, don't have the money." And they gave me a scholarship, and then I ended up coming over.
Well, can it just be that wonderful and that simple for all of us?
That's the abridged version.
I got you.
I
No,
actually
of course.
went home after that, and for a year slept on the like a mattress at my granddad's place while I worked fixing cars to save up some money to
come
actually
back.
get back over here.
And you've been here now, you said 2 years?
No,
Oh, no,
I've been here about nearing 5 years.
Nearing 5 years,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I graduated from school, acting school, 2 years
2
ago.
years ago, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm like, I always love hearing the journey because everyone, of course, you see you now, and it's just like, oh, everything's popping, everything's great. But
Everything's always been amazing. I've never had any issues in New York.
right,
ever.
because who has issues in this
I have
wonderfully
always
easy
paid my
place?
rent on time. Yeah.
No, so Insecure was, I would say that it's funny because when I was doing my digging, I was like, okay, have I seen him in anything else? So I had heard about Modern Family, but then I realized I had seen you on Law and Order because I feel like that is like the checklist for New York actors
Yes, it
is
is.
like a Law and Order episode. And I was like, that was...
Yeah. That was my first ever TV gig.
Really?
Yeah, and I think full credit to the camera operator because he hid my shakes really well.
Really?
I was so nervous.
It
I
didn't read that way, though.
I had maybe 5 lines, and I'm there just going, "Where are my lines? Okay. Yep, I'm ready. In between every take. It's 5 lines.
You did
you
your thing.
can do it.
I mean, you were
Yeah.
behind the bar. You were like letting them know what was going on.
Really didn't see it.
Now, when we're going to kind of go back, so we're going to circle back to Insecure, because one thing that was part of the conversation was the whole ghosting. And you were in the interesting situation of being the friend. And this show definitely, I feel like, is art imitating life because we've all been ghosted or I have never ghosted someone, but I have been ghosted and it's not nice. But I think the friend of the person who's doing the ghosting is always kind of in this interesting situation. Like the girls ran up on the, like unexpectedly dropped by the house. Do you feel like as the guy, like as the friend of someone that's ghosting, you have a responsibility to either check him or say something? You know, I know Andrew kind of just played it off in the episode, but what do you think, like in real life, is the way to handle that? Like if you're the friend of someone who is like ghosting someone and she shows up.
And she shows up? Mm-hmm.
Because I've wanted to, when I watch it, I've wanted to do that. I have not, but I wanted to.
I think there is a loyalty to your best friend.
Okay.
But it's not a bro code loyalty. I think it's a loyalty of, okay, like my boy's done something really dumb. Like, he's messed up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him up, but I'm going to pull him aside.
Okay, see, that was
I'm
my
going to
thing,
see what's going on. Because it's like, you owe a duty to your friend, to your best friend, to sit him down and go, what's up?
Right, like,
You know?
yeah.
It's like, you know, if you were the best man or maid of honor and, you know, your bride or groom, the 11th hour wanted to run away, you would help them. You wouldn't say, no, marry this person for the rest of your life. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you owe a loyalty to that person, but you would also say, this is really dumb.
Right, and this is going to be
and you might really, really regret it,
Exactly.
but I'm still on your side. You know, so I think, you know, if your boy or your girl's ghosting someone, pull them aside and be like,
You should check them, yeah.
do you mean to be doing that?
Now, have you ever ghosted anyone?
I have. This actually really...
The interview's over. Guys, thanks. I'm sorry. I can't continue.
I really want to talk about this.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't know that I was ready to actually, you know, I've been talking with my girlfriend about this for a long time. I'm bipolar.
Okay.
I have never admitted that to anybody publicly. But yeah, and I was diagnosed when I was 19. That is not an excuse. However,
Right.
Nathan on the show,
Right.
you know, and so it really showed me a lot about myself. Coming back to the reality of these shows, I realized that my behavior, because I get extremely oppositional. I have an oppositional dissonance when I am in what I call lows.
Right.
And I build like crazy scenarios up in my head. You know, and like dealing with it in my relationship now is like, this is like really the first time I can't just run away from something or like, you know, like blow somebody up and be like, you know, make an enemy out of somebody.
Exactly.
And it's a real challenge, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky to be with somebody who's willing to do the work with me to actually figure out the right ways to behave when these things are happening and understand more about myself. So yeah, I actually did apologize to some people. You know, I just decided that to me it was important to actually address my behavior.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, I'm you know, this is years on and everything, you know, everything's moved on. I still just, it really made me realize that, like, mental illness or not, it's not okay
to like leave a person like just with no answer or with nothing.
Yeah, and I think that in this specific scenario can possibly tie itself into male toxicity.
Yes.
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculine. I'm like, use our words today.
Right? That's the one. We need buzzwords. Toxic masculinity. You know, and our historic inability to speak about failing or being less than or being inadequate, tying into the taboo and stigma about mental illness.
Exactly, because no one wants to really talk about it.
If you have a mental illness, then there's something wrong with you.
Right.
There's something wrong with you. You are not adequate. If you are not adequate, you are not a man. So let's just cut that person out.
Yeah.
And let me keep on thinking that I'm a man. But in reality,
these issues are there. They have to be addressed. And
exactly.
Thank you for sharing that, and I appreciate that you did, because when we share, you know, our truths, it creates spaces for other people to do the same, and I think spaces for them to see themselves and to say, okay, that maybe, you know, I couldn't put words to what I was feeling, what my situation was, but here it is.
Well, I mean, I couldn't put words to my own situation until I saw it play out on Insecure. And I mean, Kendrick and I ran those scenes with each other, and I didn't even know what it was really about until I saw the final products. And I thought, all right, Prentice, all right, Issa.
You're like, okay.
That's personal. I see what you've done to me, you know. But it was, I think it's helped me. You know, people are probably going to blast me after this, you know.
No, I don't
ghosting people or whatever. But
no,
I think
no, not at all. No, because the thing about it is that these are conversations that people need to have. Like the fun stuff is great, but I think people are really searching for connections and information and help. And at the end of the day, whether they should or not, they're looking to people that they watch on television or social media. You know, not that you have to be this like representative of all of these things, but at the end of the day, if someone's watching and this is someone that they admire or aspire to be, and then they hear that this person is having some of the same issues or struggles, I think it is very powerful to share that. So I appreciate, you know, that you did. Because this year, I feel like for me has even been a transformative year of like mental health I'm so glad now that I'll even see on social media people are saying like, oh, I just left my therapist, well, just saw my therapist, or, you know, I just found a new therapist. There's a whole like thing now that it's becoming part of the conversation, and it has to be normalized.
As a teenager, I used to lie. I would make up anything to like distract and you know, and to hide the fact that I had to see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and I've seen several. But yeah, I mean, it's just like a real, for some reason we're socially, you know, educated, well, miseducated,
right,
to believe that there's a level of normality or normalcy that we're supposed to achieve.
Right.
And if we don't hit that mark in all aspects,
then
we're inconsistent,
exactly,
or we're not right. We need to strive for perfection, show the best, hide the rest. And you know, if you do see a therapist, make it 1 hour a week, dump everything on them, and then
keep it
not
moving.
Deal with it for the rest of the,
right,
rest of the week. And it's like
that's not
doesn't
how it
work
works.
that way, you know. And I think, again, this is something that even is shown with Molly and her therapist. You know, that was something that was tackled.
One of the last things before we wrap today, and we touched a little bit on, you know, the importance of representation, but I will also say it seems that 2018 is the year of, you know, Asian representation in Hollywood. Crazy Rich Asians, you know, your character on Insecure, of course, we're back to Insecure, but it was definitely part of that conversation. I just saw this morning that Sandra Oh is co-hosting the Golden Globes, and that's the first time, you know, an Asian woman has done that. How does it feel to be part, you know, to be considered part of this moment?
Wild.
Because you are you are on that list of moments for that, you know, for the year.
This is something that I used to talk about it in theater school. I used to talk about my frustrations with not being able to be seen as who I believed I was, who I could be. You know, my voice is a little too deep, my shoulders a little too broad, my hair is a little too long to play the Asians that I saw on screen. It wasn't a possibility for me. And I was never going to be seen as the, you know, the white roles, aka the lead roles. Historically. But this year has really just shown a new side of well, it revealed a possibility that I didn't know existed before. And so it's been such a reaffirming year to be able to see not only this role, to be able to go in for this role, which was written for an Asian man.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering that.
No, like it was intended, which means the world. But to see a huge, record-breaking romantic comedy led, written, directed by Asians in Singapore, and I am Singaporean.
There you go.
So Crazy Rich Asians too. What's up? Anyway,
sorry,
I don't know where that came from. John, I'm here. I just love that I get to be around these people who inspire me, who I admire. John Cho, Searching, that film was one of my favorites this year. His performance, amazing. But then Henry Golding, you know, to have Constance Wu, Randall Park, Jake Choi on Single Parents now. We just, it's no longer just like one name or two names. It used to be, oh yeah, Jackie Chan, or, you know, John Cho. And now it's, we have a roster now. And it's like, and we're all good.
Well, we have gone like around the bend. I have so enjoyed you today.
I've had a blast.
Thank you for being my final guest on the first season of the Africa Miranda Show. Thank you for sharing and just being so open. I'm so excited for you and just all this to come. You have such great energy and you're such a great talent, and you're needed. And that's one thing I will say about this season is that I feel very fortunate. I've been able to have great moments with people that I just know that I'm going to sit back and say, I was there when, and just to watch you grow. So
I'm really excited for you.
Well, thank you, my dear.
I think this is a good way to sort of wrap up 2018.
I would agree.
Surrounded by good people, good energy, and getting ready to take over 2019.
Come on, 2019.
That happened.
Do you have like an affirmation? I don't like to say resolutions because I feel like that's so just like, oh, I want to go to the gym more, I want to do whatever.
Right.
But do you have like some affirmations or some things for you for 2019 that are on your list?
I do. I have, professional ones, personal ones, and so on. But most important to me, I have a manifesto.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually wrote out a manifesto to myself.
Okay.
And that is paramount for me to take into 2019.
That's good.
Is my manifesto, which is my mindset, which is my attitude, which is my behavior.
Gotcha, which is going to be the foundation that kind of just like sets everything.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, we will be supporting all of the things that are to come. Guys, it's been a great season. You have been with me. We've been to LA. We came back. We were in the kitchen. We've been out in the street. You know how to take your Instagram photos. I hope that this season has really helped you on your journey to living your best life, because that's what I want for you, and that is what I'm still trying to do for me as well. As always, please join the Africa Miranda Show group to stay in touch, keep up with what's going and what's coming up next, and follow me here on Facebook at Africa Miranda. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.